shy, but I'm actually very shy and reserved person. And I can see doubts in your eyes. That's true, okay? Yeah, so when Greg actually organized this like a couple weeks ago, right? 4 weeks ago, he actually asked me to become a first speaker. And then I said yes, and he said, no, it's just something very small, several people, and then it's not gonna be, anything fancy. And then I brought my husband, and then it turned out to be like a huge thing. I had like 4 weeks, so you might think, oh, yeah, she will prepare the speech pretty well, but the anxiety has been built for 4 weeks, so so you can be with me. I like to talk about my experience with father as a Messiah, as I have more relationship with Mom. I want to talk about it. Just pinky mic. Pinky mic note. I would say, St. Augustine says something like this. He said, in our park, there's our king mentioned it a couple of times about this. If I repeat it, or our king quoted St. Augustine. He said, in our heart, each one of us has a little hole in our heart. And then we try to fill that with many secular things, whether it's fame, whether it's money, whether it's a place, or whatever, youth, or whatever, right? We think we feel precious. But that hole can only be filled with the love of Christ. Once you accept Christ, that hole is completely filled, and then you become really satisfied, and your spirit knows it. So, that's how I really feel when I think about my journey to find the Father as Messiah, to my last week I was hearing Mrs. Kami's testimony, and then at that time there was zero church, right? There was only the hut that Father built, and then Mrs. Kami was invited there. But when I met Father, I guess I met Father, I don't know, I guess spiritually met Father when I was conceived, right? Because I'm second gen, right?
Hey!
Right? Yeah. If Father is not there, then I will not be there, right? Because my father and mother will never will get married, right? So they're totally opposite character, and they are not type of people. And they are not like that kind of lovey-dovey couple. So I cannot imagine, without Father, they will not really meet together. And I will not be here as a second gen. So, I have to say that my life actually, designed by Father, right? When my father and mother was matched, my mother is a little bit slightly older than my father. So in Asia, there was like really no, right? Because my mom was like, she wanted to at least, she wanted to wear a heel, so high heel, right? So she insists, I don't know about this man, he's shorter than me, right? Yeah, we do that, we also do that. Anyway, so when father asked her, are you gonna get blessed with it? And then my mother said, she didn't answer. The first father asked her, made them stand up, like both of them stand up, and then asked my mother. He didn't ask my father, he asked my mother. And then, are you gonna get blessed with with him? And she said she didn't answer because she didn't like my father. I guess my mother didn't like him. And the second time she didn't answer. And the third time, father was like, he was really angry, like she could not say yes. So she said, okay, Father. And then she said yes, finally. And then Father gave a word of blessing, if you get blessed with him, then you will have a general in your family. So get blessed with it. So that's how my father and mother got blessed, and then they had a first daughter, and the first daughter, a second daughter, and third daughter, and then finally they had a son, and then as you know, some of you know that my brother was I don't know. I can't find the nice way to say mentally challenged. Is that another? Yeah, special need. Yeah, special need. He was born with a brain damage, and then
my son is the same.
he couldn't walk until like 5 years old. So he was in the vegetable state about 5 years, and then I was the youngest. I was right above him, so I was always kind of take care of it, and then at the same time going around the many these places to find the cure for him around the whole country. And then in the midst of it, my father is a pastor. My father is a pastor, so when I was born, my father was already a pastor, and then by the time I think that the church is almost like 150, 200 churches throughout whole Korea, so the church was really expanding around Korea. So I was like, I couldn't, the reason I said I want to talk about, once I really understand, I know I have a long way to go to study Bible, but once I get a little bit, have a knowledge about Bible, once I have a more relationship with Bible, I can understand Father much better. But at that time, I knew nothing about Bible. What I know was divine principle, right? And then there was not a culture at our time to read the Bible seriously, take Bible seriously. Our Bible is like, you don't have to know Bible, although the Bible, the divine principle quotes Divine Principle quotes Bible how many times? Like 930 times, right? Yeah, 930 times. But they said you don't really have to know about Bible. It's like it's contradicting, but somehow it really seeped in the culture of the Unification Church. And then we have somehow looked down on Bible. So, and then so I thought what I only need to know is divine principle. So for me, it was like a very hard I couldn't really articulate at that time, but now when I look back, what I learned from divine principle was not really love of God or justice of God, but it was more like a very, you cannot fail. That's the message I heard from divine principle. Yeah. If you fail, you're gonna screw up the whole providence. So you better not fail. Either you don't fall, either you make the condition of what is it? The substantial offering, or whether it's a foundation of faith, foundation of substance. Either that you cannot screw up, you cannot fail. So that's the message that I heard, and then it's like it was proof in the environment with my brothers. And then from outside I was perfect. From outside I look like a perfect A+ girl, right? I study hard. I help my mom so well, and then all this stuff. Inside I was really busy. But so basically I couldn't feel that hole. I couldn't see Father as a Messiah. So I did not have any foundation of Christianity, seeing God as a loving God. And then it was like the gap was getting like further and further, and I didn't know how to worship God. I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know what is the right way, but the resentment was building. And I think about that was the case. And then I got blessed. I was called one day to come to Hannam, which is probably father used to reside there for 10 years. So I went there and then met Father for the first time. And I was like, I think I was 19, right? I was 19, and then I was like so surprised by Father is actually sitting there and he's moving. I was like this starstruck, right? And then as if I always saw him in the calendar, or I saw him like so far away in the big rally, so I can hardly, I can hardly see. Is that Father, or is that the dot next to him is Father? Like I couldn't really tell, right? And then it was for the first time. It's about the distance where Jim is sitting. And he's moving, and I'm like, oh, he can move! He can talk! And like this, I was totally stuck. And then that was my first encounter with Father. And then we got blessed, and then I was busy with 5 children, and graduating college, and spent 10 years, and we getting just family culture and all that. But I have to say, you know what? All those time, I never really feel serious to study Bible. So, of course I'm not Father. Of course I, attend all the ceremonies, and of course I did all that because I was a good girl. If you ask me, I was a good girl, and then okay, I wanna do my best. But I did not know that the Father. I say it, but I did not know what it means. I didn't know what it means to serve it as a Messiah. I actually did not know because I never was serious enough to really study Bible. So as so as we come to Pennsylvania, then I became really serious about studying Bible. Yeah, and then the oh, okay, I'm jumping. And then those 2 years, about 2 years that that our king and I served the Father, the last 2 years of Father served him. And then that time, I really saw Father as he's a real deal. This was another before I got into Bible. This was another bridge that I really helped me to find Father as a Messiah. Because before that, since I was young, I could see the big house, fancy car, and a lot of followers, and I have to behave myself. That was pretty much I have to raise my 5 children and then go to school, and then other things preoccupied me, and then I couldn't really, this is very important to me that I have to study. I actually could not do that, and then I could not really seriously think about is Father Messiah and what does that mean to me? Even though I did a temple church pastor, I more focused on what can I do to really help these members. But you'll be very surprised. People can do things, they do it, but they sometimes can really miss the war. And that was a nice thing. It was very painful to actually serve as a pastor's wife at the mega church in Slovakia. Because everything I feel like I have to do with my work. So it was a very draining experience. And then the more I tried to help brother and sister, the more draining I become. And then I could not really understand Father. And then, is it really real? Why is it doing all this crazy fundraising from Japan? Or why is it ignoring all this domestic violence that's happening in Korean husband and Japanese wife, or Korean husband and then Filipino wife? And then there was so many questions. The more I do the pastor, serve as a pastor's wife, the more questions and the more doubt and more resentment really built in. And I did not know how to solve this. And then as our second kid, I served the Father really closely. That's the time I really can see who really Father is. Wow, the Father is. I have a very short experience serve the congregation, right? But I sometimes have such a nice face in front of people, but behind the scene, I become like so angry, or I become very nasty, and then I couldn't really. I'm screaming at my children for like very little things, and I couldn't control my temper, and all these things. And then but when I saw Father, what he does in public and what he does in private, it was exactly the same. That was the first thing that I was so surprised. How can a man become like a? It's exactly the same, and he's been serving this congregation for how long? It's like more than 70 years, right? And then he has this same heart for them. And then he would do the hundoke with them for 27 hours, 23 hours, and 30 minutes. We were there as Yosu at that time. So it was like torturous. I have to say, it was very torturous. They got lack of faith. But I saw many sisters who were like, they were literally just sleeping on the floor. Literally, they were sleeping on the floor. And then, that kind of experience. And Father made me speak one time, and the Father said, and then I shared this, one of the resentment that I really had was, if Father is really, good Father, how can you match my father and mother to have such a brother? That was a big pain for me, actually. I mean, he has this, for a young mind, I couldn't really understand if he's a loving God, he would have given me only good things. Yeah. And that's what I thought. That was my understanding. And then, of course, now I know better, right? We know that God promised not happiness. He actually promised a blessing, right? And then to get that blessing, we have to earn it, and then there's a hardship. Yeah, and then there's a process to actually get that blessing. But at that time, I couldn't really understand that. But anyway, and then I share this story. Father, you matched, and then you promised we're gonna have a general, and then my father came, and then he's like, he's handicapped. And then Father said really profound. The Father said, you can be the general. Why your brother has to be general? That's what he said. I was so surprised, actually, that moment. It was like, I think that moment was the first moment that wow, you know what? Actually, I made a Father as a confined being. And Father has to be a certain way in order for me to accept. And then that was a breakthrough moment to really have a relationship with Father. And then I can see slowly Father as wow, the Father is real. The Father, he proclaimed, I don't know what Messiah is. I don't know the depth of it, but I can see he's not lying. What he said, when he says something, he's actually 100%. Yeah. That's the thing I saw, observing him very closely. And then that was like that gave me like a foundation to really think about this, really wrestle with what I have been like constructed about, loving God has to be this way, or justice God has to be this way. All this conception that I had, that it has to be this way in order for me to accept this, was totally really shattered. And then Father, and I really realized that Father, I really always thought that, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm gonna be honest, I thought Father was right. We went to Japan how many times? Like almost 30 times to visit Japan, and then we saw the ground, and it was very painful to see that our brothers and sisters doing the fundraising, and then they can really pay for their children's tuitions, and then they have to break the insurance money in the bank so that they can do the donation. It was just pain one after another. And then one time I remember our second king, he felt so heavy about this donation providence in Japan. It was right before, it's 5 minutes before he go out, and then he has to do the speech, right? And then he said, I can't go. I can't face brothers and sisters. We felt such a heavy spirit there. And then I really couldn't really understand Father as a loving Father. Yeah. Am I jumping everywhere? I think I'm jumping.
No, you're doing
No,
good.
no.
Do you feel this spaghetti like a brain of woman? I hope you know. I think I'm really good. I'm sorry. Women have a spaghetti.
We know.
Yeah, I guess I'm like jumping all over the place.
Oh, we follow.
Yeah, okay. But you're a woman. Yeah, so it was like, so when I saw Father as actually very cool Father, actually. Is that I don't think I kind of pinpointed, oh, Father is like this, and I think him this way. Actually, no, I didn't. Actually, it's just that there's like a heavy aura, and I just did not like it, and then there's like, oh, I really don't like this. And I don't know, I want to face Father's face today, like something like this. And then but serving Father, I realized how loving Father he is. He's so loving. It's like incredible. He noticed the very little things, and then I share this. I share this story one time in the service. So if you didn't hear it out, I wanna say it again. We went to Nigeria, and then there was a Father had to leave to the airport. He has to, in order to get to the airport. That time he has to go to the Iceland first, and then he has to go to America. So the Iceland, he has to get to the Iceland before the Iceland airport closes, right? So he has to leave at certain time. Otherwise, we have to extend the hotel reservation and all that. The money gets like more cost. So we don't want to burden the cost for Nigerian church, and then one by one people were sent to tell Father, you gotta stop this speech so that we can go. And then one person went up, and then Father said, yeah, and then the other person, I think about 5 people went, and there was a really time yesterday. So our king went up, and then Father just, you dare tell me to leave here. I don't know when I'm gonna come back here. And then you're telling me to leave, and Father was very upset. And then Father just slapped him. And then I was like, I was dropping my jaw. and then I was just there. And the Father asked me to come up, and then he slapped me too. I was like, what is this? What did I do? In public, what did I do? I was in panic, right? And I was like about to really cry.
Oh, sure.
I was crying, but I at least had some street smart not to cry there to make the situation worse, right? So I didn't cry, but I thought it was interesting to just observe myself at that time. I was emotionally crushed, and then I didn't know how to react, but I just shut down myself and slept. Like throughout the whole ride for 40 minutes from that hotel to where the Father's speech was, and then to the airport. And then it was and then I just slept throughout the whole time because I did not want to talk to any leaders. And then they were like, are you okay? Everybody's like concerned me, and like, I don't want to talk to you now. Because if I talk to you, nothing good will come out of my mouth. So I was like, okay. And then I got into the airport, and then the Father, my husband he was doing fine. I was so surprised. His wife just got like smacked by your father, and then you were okay about this? Getting mad at my husband too. Forgive me, Father. And then and he was doing fine, and there was a VIP who came to say bye to Father, and he was like my husband. Father was of course totally fine, right? And then my husband was like serving VIP, and then he was having nice talk with Father, and they were laughing and like, what's going on? And only one. That was how I felt. And then and my emotional crush did not stop there, right? And then we had to ride the airplane, and then the whole airplane ride. I don't do games so much. I don't do games, but there's like a very simple game, like if you push it and then it pops, and then I did that game for 7 hours. Because I don't want to, because it's a small plane. It was a small father, it's a private plane, and I can't make a ruckus about this, right? So I was doing that. I was just doing mind control. After the 7 hours, my arm could not move, so I could. So I have a point to talk about this incident. Is that how to say? Yeah. Because after this, I really realized the father as a loving father. Can you believe that? It's like I felt like I had literally, he can't do this to me and all this, right? And then and my husband had such a good attitude. He has such a good attitude. He was father. I can't believe, father, you still have like a 20 years old strength, and when you smack me like this, and I feel full power of a rat. And he was that's such a good attitude with a smile. I'm like, how can you do that? Can't you understand your wife? I was still in that dark mode. And then and then we went to the luggage claim area, and then father, we were picking up the luggage, and then just his father is so interesting. I have to say this. The father felt a little better, and he got like a better mood, and then one of our staff, to serve father, she said, "Oh, it was a woman, and she was brave enough to say, oh, father, I think it was a little mean for you to, smacking the daughter-in-law. It's one thing that you smack your son, but I think it was a little mean. It's kind of cruel to smack your daughter-in-law. Even the secular family doesn't do that." And she was like brave enough to say that. And then I was like, "Did she say that?" And I was like, "Oh." And then father said this, and then after his one statement like this, I was totally terrified. Father said, "I never hit my daughter-in-law. I hit my daughter." That's what he said. And then it melted my heart. I don't know. I can't logically explain this, okay? I can't logically explain this, but he embraced me. He viewed me as a daughter. Oh my goodness, I felt so much closer to father. So he doesn't actually see me as a separate entity, but he actually sees me as a daughter. Wow, I feel honored. I cannot really explain it logically why I felt that way, but I really felt the Holy Spirit touch, and then the 7 hours anger of doing that game. And then after that, and father, a couple of times and then we went to Las Vegas, and I was like serving father, and then all of a sudden father, as I serving food, Yona, you cannot hold any resentment about that incident, okay? And he was making sure that. And I felt like he's a little gentle concern that he has. How I thought, I'm okay, and then I forgot all about it, but he was still
very aware.
Yeah, he's aware that I can actually think about this and feel the resentment toward it. He was that gentle. And I was like, wow, it's amazing. And then a couple of days later, he's asking me again. Yeah, you cannot feel any resentment toward about this, okay? There was a love of a father, okay? And I was making sure I say yes with a loud voice. Do you understand this? And yes, father. And then, and then I see it. I really felt the father's love there. How gentle, how delicate he is when you deal with him. And then when he do something, he actually don't do it out of really hurt that person. But he actually does it out of concern. And then, when I look back, I was defiant. Yeah, I can admit now that I was like, my father is holding everybody like this, and we have to go to Iceland. In my heart, I had that. So I admit that I was deserved to get smacked. So I can actually admit that now. So it's like it's like a God's wrath and God's love, and then that now I can see. Oh, it was like both of them. I experienced at the same time. That's how I felt. Serving Father very closely. One time, Father, we went out to the ocean, and then the commando is like commando is like Yeosu is the area that is part of the peninsula, Korean peninsula. But the commando is like you have to actually drive out to the ocean 2 hours, about 2 hours, and then it's from Yeosu. So it's like a very remote island.
Take the boat.
Yeah, take a boat, and then they have like 2 times a day the big cruise. The ferry goes back and forth, so it's like a very remote island. So so father went to Commando quite often, and then he built the ocean Cheonjeong there. Some of you might know. So we went there, and then father really loved to go there, and then he really loved to go out in the ocean. Just like Jesus, right? When Jesus was when crowd gathered, and Jesus said, right now I need to have a time for prayer. So he leave the crowd behind, and he rolled a boat, and then he went out to the ocean. And then that's what Father did. And then one time we went out, and if you know Father, once he go out to the ocean, and then the 7 hours is just minimum, right? Once he get out there, he just I think it is where did I hear this? Oh yeah. Where did I hear this? The sound of a stream is like the voice of God. I think I read this in the Bible. Yeah. I think Father really heard the voice of God when he was out there in the ocean. Yeah. And then it was like a meditation time. It was like a praying time for him. So so when especially when there's like a big ceremony or big proclamation, and he was out there to make the condition and really get himself together spiritually. So when he goes out there, it's like a 7-8 hours. It's like a straight. And I never liked the boat riding because I have seasick, and then I always like in the bottom of the boat. I'm like laying down, so I never really enjoyed the boat ride. But Father never had a seasick. It was like amazing. And then but one day, Father went out, and then he was rubbing his belly, and then he said, and then we parked our Father's boat, and the Father, it's only like 30 minutes past, and the Father said, I don't feel so good. Let's go back in. I never saw Father doing that. I never saw Father doing that. He was clearly something was wrong, and then Father want to go back. He never do that. So we were like, what's going on? Father must be really in a hurt. And then we were scrambling around, and we put the what is it? This metal thing. We put the anchor up, and then we quickly went back in. And then as soon as we get to the pier, dock, the harbor, there was like 40 our Japanese brothers and sisters with a big banner and say, Father! And they were like screaming at Father. Father is like such in pain. And brother and sister, they came from Japan to see Father. And then they got a message that Father is coming back, and then with the big banner, they're so happy to see Father. And then I can't remember which church they came from. If it's a Kumamoto church, and our and then the whole church welcomes Father in Commando, and whatever they all came out, and there was a big scene. And then I had to say, if I'm in pain, when I serve my congregation in Seoul Mega Church, if I'm in pain, I'm like, I can't think about brothers and sisters. Okay, I'm in pain. I gotta deal with this first, right? I don't want to see anybody. I'm gonna rest. That was my attitude. Right? I was really. Because Father is like 9 years old, and the brothers and sisters are they're so happy to see Father. They don't know Father is sick, right? The father said, oh, you guys came. Oh, please come to Heang Chunju, Ocean Chunju. And he invited everybody in. And then, and then the, and then everybody came, and then father was so happy to see them. And then he gave them talk, and then he asked Hyunjin to sing, and then he did a celebratory thing for them, and then he took a picture with them, and then uh, and we all knew whoever close to father, and father was really sick, but he really kept the really good mood as much as possible to serve his brother and sister who came from far away to see him. He honored them. And it was such a touching moment for me. Oh, this is actually a father that this is how much he loves them. And he doesn't have to do it. He could have said, "Oh, I'm sick. Let's not do this." And he could have asked whoever represented can do that. But father actually mindful enough to those brothers and sisters who are willing to come out and then spend time with them. And then about the Japanese, I say, as I know about Bible more, I can see Father as a Messiah, and I can understand Father more. The reason I keep on saying that I can see what when through Jesus' example, I can really see what Father did in his lifetime. Something like I don't want to be too like a scholastic, so I'm not going to open the Bible, but I believe it's like a Mark 8, I believe. Mark 8. I want Mark 8. When Mark 14, when the woman came, and then she wants to use that nard oil for nard perfume for washing the feet of Jesus. And then everybody said that that's a worth of a 1 year wage. Why are you wasting it? So Jesus did it. And then Jesus said, and then we better serve them with those money. We better serve the poor with those money. Or we can do something far better than that. And why are you wasting them? And it was that expensive. It was a 1 year worth of a wage. That oil was very expensive. But the Jesus said, I only promote poor people always there. It's in the Mark 14 it says that. And so that's where he was coming from. Actually, there was a beautiful testimony that one sister, actually her father and mother gave all to church. And then she got blessed with the Korean brother. And then she said and she had a cancer too. She's about my age and she had cancer, so she went through so much. And she had to used to get accustomed to Korean culture, and then she lost her brother through a car accident, and then she went through so many things at such a young age. She's not even 40 yet. But you know what she said? I was so amazed. She said she was one of the Japanese sisters who studied the Bible. I know nothing about the Bible course, and she, at the end of the course, she said, "You know what? I had such a resentment for this donation program." And she said, "But after I studied Bible, she said, I realized actually me can participate in the Father's providence to serve Christ that way." And our family was part of that providence. It was actually grace. It was actually a blessing. Oh my goodness, she ministered to me. And I know I cannot explain this, all the painful things our Japanese family was going through. I understand. But I think that was for that particular sister, it was a beginning point for healing. And then I know that that realization can only come from the Spirit. Actually, it was not her actually to realize that it was a Holy Spirit. Nobody can open somebody's mouth and then you should say that or you should feel that way, right? And that's really Holy Spirit. And I really found the Father like as I come here in the the wilderness, so to speak, I really felt that only thing that I can really rely on is Christ, and I really want to know about Bible. As our second king really preach about, when you read about Bible, you have to really see Father in Jesus. That's what he said, and that was really helping. And then I start to listen to the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John first. I start to listen to it. I don't want to really open at that time, as soon as I opened the Bible, I feel like, I could not, I did not know anything about Bible, so I don't know so much about Bible, but at that time I was like a zippo, right? I did not know like Mountain Sinai was a real location, and then I did not know any of those things. Sometimes I feel like I'm like a mix up, like Jacob and Joseph and all these things, right? I was in bad shape. Okay, so Spirit really convicted me. You don't know Bible, and then you are telling me that you want to have a relationship with me, and that's not gonna happen. And then that really convicted me. That really convicted me. Because, just like our husband and wife relationship, when we meet for the first time, we don't know this person, right? And we don't know when this person did this. Does it mean he's angry, or he's annoyed, or he's thinking about something serious? We don't know. But as we live with this our spouse, we just look at his eyes and we know what he's thinking, right? It's like something like that. The relationship builds over time, and then we can tell. Oh, he's talking about this. Oh, she's talking about this. Oh, she's in this mood, so I better do this to make her feel better. Or oh, she's in this, I know if I do this, she's gonna be very happy. And we know, right? And we know what triggers her, or what make her mad, or what make him mad, right? So we know all this detail that nobody knows, right? But it's like almost like a relationship with God, relationship with Christ, like the same thing. If we don't know Him, how can we love Him? Right? If we don't know Him and what He wants from us, then how can we serve Him? Right? How can we actually know when He says something, when He shows sign? How can we know that's even a sign? Right? So that was a conviction that I really got, and I really, that I know. I'm still studying, and I know I'm gonna be I will be the Word of God. The Bible will be my eternal guideline for me. With the Word of God, because we see as our second king said, the Bible was written by God. Right? That's what our king says. Just like a Christian sees the Old Testament is written by Jesus, right? So, it will be the word of Christ will be always my guide. As I have a more relationship, as I at least yearn to want to know Bible more, and I can really see everything that all the things that happened with Father. I can see through the lens of Bible, and then what Christ means, and how much there's a preparation to actually went in to receive Messiah, and I could never understand. We are so fortunate to live the same era with the Christ, with the Messiah. I could okay, that sounds very nice, but it never came to the heart of me. It never came to me. So that was a very nice statement. Yeah, I guess I am fortunate, but I have this that's like the back of it, and I have this huge resentment still there and don't know how to solve it. And then it was always battling inside of my heart. But as I really understand the Bible, and even about my brother, right, I could not really understand why God would only give our family something. It's I have to really say, I know it's cliche to say, and like a dead lady saying that because she's pastor's wife. I know you're saying that. You're thinking that. I understand that. But I don't know how to put it. I don't know what else I can put, what other word I can put it. because Father really gave me answer to the Bible. What should I say? In I don't know, it's John 8, John 9, John 9. It says in the book of John 9, it says there's a blind man come up. Like there's a blind man sitting there, and then it is right, John 9, okay? And then the disciple asked Jesus, why is that man blind? Does he have some kind of sin, or his family had a sin, or why is that? Because that was that was the worldview. Oh, that person has sin because he has basically hereditary, right? Like, inherits their sin. That's why that person is. That's why that person is crippled, or that person is blind, or that person has such a child. Right? Because from very young age, I love my mother and father, but they had a unsolved issue about my brother, and they were like, when they were not in good mood, they start accusing each other. It's from your ancestors' sin. That's why our son like this. And it's from your ancestors. It was like a very painful thing to see for me. So it was like exactly the question that the disciple asked to Jesus. Is it like the ancestors' sin? Because that's why is that the guy is blind? Jesus said he said this: neither the man nor his parents sinned, but this happened so that the work of God might be displayed in him. And it was like such an answer. And I don't think if I read this like a long time ago, I might not be appreciating this scripture. But really, God knows when is the right timing to give the right guidance and right word, so that that person can really receive the Holy Spirit. You know, when we actually read the Bible and then that same quote, same word really convicts you, that is the time that Holy Spirit is coming upon you. That is the time. There's a many different ways that Holy Spirit can work for you, through environment, through situation, through people near you. But I really confess that when the scripture really come inside of your heart, that is the time really Holy Spirit is working to you, working upon you. Because with your knowledge, with your limited understanding of God, you cannot actually get that through your heart. You are actually, many times I feel like my heart is so hard, but He has a way to come into my heart. It was such a profound experience for me to hear answer. And then, as a young person, another example that I really understood Father deeper and more. Another example was I could never understand why Father says these radical things to get more persecution. I want to go my school, public school, quietly. I don't want to have all this, back talk behind me, right? And I don't want to see Father in the front page of newspaper and controversial currently, I don't want to see any of those, right? And I could not understand why Father does what He does, and making this claim that these 4 saints, great saints, are His disciples, and then He said, put that testimony in the Sege newspaper, right? And all those things, and then I don't know why Father has to wear a crown. While I'm in the ceremony, I didn't know why I'm in the ceremony. Oh, Father, why can't we just live our life very quietly and all this, right? I could not understand. This is true. That's exactly what I needed. I could not understand Father. Why does He have to make it always controversial? Why does He have to make our brothers and sisters' life so difficult and all this? But I really realized that's what Jesus did. Jesus always challenged the Pharisees. Jesus challenged the Roman government. And then He did not back down from the truth. That's what Jesus did. And then that was Father was doing. And then I really realized that our posture has to be the way that the follower, disciple, and then the disciple, and then the apostles of Jesus, like Paul, like James, and that should be our posture. And then that was like such a big jump for me. Wow. And then how Jesus was not actually accepted from people. And then in John 8, they come out like you are possessed by devil. Like then people, like Pharisees, actually accusing Jesus.
Yeah.
You are possessed by demons.
And
then they were about to stone Jesus to death. See, so that was like and Father's the persecution that Father has a 6 imprisonment that Father had to go through throughout all his life. This was what it was about. And then this is why our brothers and sisters willing to get crucified. Some of them actually got martyred in some African nations. This is what's all about. And then it really, I really could understand that this is where this is coming from. This is why my father and mother is not crazy. They're not crazy. They're actually living the faith. And I can start to appreciate our father and mother.
Can I say one thing about this point? Because as you know, I have a child with special needs. And at a certain point when my son was around 10, I have done a reading with Philip Burley. He's a brother that channels spirit. And Yeon, your husband, son, brother, they really died. Came to Philip Burley for me, told me that Ben was born so I can widen my heart and deepen my heart. So I believe that every parent with special need go through a very special path for the purpose of expansion, to really become more, and like you say, just to really fill up. You really understand how God sees us. We are all handicapped from God's viewpoint, unable to be the way that we're supposed to be somehow.
And I really love that it's not only to the limit to us, but it's actually really showing His glory through this situation. And I think that's also very important point, as Jesus said. And then I cannot imagine the pain you went through, because I saw my mother going through that process. But I'll do comment. I'll save my comment about the spiritual medium at the end of the speech, maybe. Yeah, but it's something that really I had this question for a long time, but the Bible really answered my question for that part. And then understanding Father, understanding our first gen, and I can see, I felt actually real pain that I could not serve Father the way I supposed to serve Him when He was on earth. So, that's one thing that I'm very, very repentful. That's very repentful. As a young second, as a second gen, you know what? Every second gen has to, at one point, they have to choose whether I'm going to follow this way or I'm not going to do nothing to do with this. They actually have to make a choice. They actually think they can run away from this choice, but I know in the back of their mind that choice is always lingering. One sister put it very nice way. She said she struggled with faith, and then she went to Changpyeong, and she did all sorts of things that she could do to really, in her own way, to find the Christ. But somehow, she had this block, the spiritual block, that she could not really open up. And then whenever she had that spirit, whenever she feels like she can open up to God a little bit, tiny bit, and then God is like tapping her shoulder. Are you ready to accept me now? And she's like, no, I'm not. Spiritually, she says that. And then a couple of years later, God is like tapping her shoulder. Christ is tapping her shoulder again, the same spot, same heart, the aching heart that she had. He's making a point. You can never build. In my term, you can never build a hole with anybody but Christ, anything but Christ, right? That's my term, I guess. But he's tapping her shoulder again. The Christ is tapping her shoulder again. Are you ready?
No.
And then she said she must have go through this over and over and over. So finally, accept the Father as a Christ. She went through this journey, spiritual journey over and over. So I know some of you guys have a second gen. I don't know when my daughter or when my son. I don't know. But that is like that the timing is God is choosing them. And then we don't know how He's going to work. It's like how He worked me to serve Him, like without. I'm not perfect, but at least I'm trying. I'm going to try to reach out to Him. That's like the first step. And then He had a lot of patience to make me the way I am now. Right? If He condemned me, you don't know about this point. You are not ready for this point. Then I would have probably never did it. So I'm very grateful to God. How many minutes? Yeah, I don't want to speak too long. I don't want to make you guys to sit too long. The one thing that it really helped me as a second gen faith was this. I almost felt like without me knowing, I was expecting some kind of miracle. Right? If He does this to me or something like that, if He makes my brother into a normal person, then I'll believe God. Right? Or like if you make a miracle and then make my father and mother becomes like lovey-dovey and they become like such a good husband and wife, then I'll believe. Or like we had this conditions, right? So until I see some kind of a sign in heaven or like a sign in the nature, then I believe God, right? So I had this wrong notion of understanding God. And one pastor really put this thing very beautifully. He said one person came to the service and it was a revival service, and then he came out and then the pastor was praying to him. And then he said, and at the end of the prayer, Pastor, I have a question. And he said, I flew 3 hours to participate in this. I'm not a believer in Christ, but I flew 3 hours to participate in this service so that I will see miracle. Well, how come you prayed in my head? How come I don't see any miracle? And then the pastor said this. Pastor said, you know what? The fact that you drew 3 hours to come to the service is a miracle. And then you are like this. You are like this. You are focused so much in the finger that is pointing to the God. You can see the amazing miracle that God has. And then the miracle is like the tip of the finger that you are focusing so much. So as a second gen, that was what I was doing. And then when I actually see, as I have an interaction with words and my life is changing, and then the word is convicting me. And when people said A, I used to be very offended and I feel very insecure about it. But as I have a more relationship with the words and with Christ, and I don't feel offended that easily. And I don't feel like insecure about these things, little minor things. And I have a real peace. When I have a peace, I actually have a peace. And I really have a joy to know brother and sister who has been saved. And these are not the thing that I did it, but it's a work of the Holy Spirit. So when I see that, that little change is actually a miracle. And then that really helped me to view a miracle differently. It was the beginning of my faith life. At second gen, that was really helpful. And then, our second gen, he used to say about divine principle, like this. Our second gen, they don't know they're sitting on diamond. That's right, they're always sitting on diamond. So they don't know that is diamond. Because for other people who knows the value of diamond, there's a diamond they're sitting on. But as a second gen, we always, sitting on diamond. So when we see divine principle, of course, the fall of man is the fall of man, right? It was not eating the apple, of course. But for some people, that is like the main this is a word. Wow, this is what Christ did. That's how they actually, receive it. That's why all, this Christian is here, right? So, I can go on and on, but I really wanna, whatever that we go through. I know I cannot explain. Have a really heart of gratitude if we go through whatever condition and situation we go through. If we go through that with a heart of gratitude, and then He really works miracles. Our Father works miracles in one way and another. We might think that was a curse, just like me. I used to think my father was such a curse in our family, but now it made me serve our brothers and sisters in a deeper way. I can relate to you right away, right? And you can relate to me right away, right?
I know.
How can I relate to you? Because of this experience, right? And Father, at that moment, I might not know the full plan of God, and He might not let me know His full plan. Otherwise, I might run away from it, thousand miles away, like Jonah, right? So He has a great plan. He doesn't want to tell me. He doesn't want to tell you the full plan that He has to you, right? So as long as we have if you trust His words. And if you have a faith and not lean on our understanding, but His understanding, His knowledge, His wisdom, then He will make our path. So that's how I will end my sharing. Have a question. And before I accept the question, I just want to have a comment about the spiritual medium. Our second king has a very,
This was 20 years ago, by the way.
Yeah. So, I'm sure you guys know, but just in case if you guys, any brothers and sisters don't know about spiritual medium, how our second king knew about spiritual medium, we know that our Christ can work directly to us, right? As He can have a direct personal relationship, right? We don't have to go through a spiritual medium to tell us what our second king puts this way. I don't need any spiritual medium tell me what my father thinks or what my brothers think. Okay, I know him better than that person. Okay, so that's how I put it. So I just want to make it clear for brothers and sisters who have any concern or confusion about this. So,
actually, with that understanding, I believe that I'm not the only one that experienced that through Father. Reverend Moon actually talked to Yeon, and if that is so, that Reverend Moon, the second coming and Jesus are one, so through Yeon is Jesus and His Father. They really talk through Him. That's the way I perceive it.
Yeah, but I want to stick to what second king said, because it can be, it's like we saw the precedent, right, with the Humo. So in the beginning they begin with a very good heart, but it can be corrupted because they are not perfect.
No, are you saying that through Father is talking to your husband or not?
When Holy Spirit is talking to us and they give us prompting and they give us teaching and wisdom, there's you can say that is is Christ directly talking to us, or it's what is it, right? It's just the same question, right? When Father is talking to give our second king the guidance and the direction, is it directly talking to him?
Yeah.
It can be like that, or it can be into some different form, or he he has a previous experience with the Father close enough, so he will know what Father wants and what Father would make a decision at that moment, and things like that. I think it's a combination.
In the right context, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's like the way that spiritual medium come into your...
No. I'm not talking about the medium. I'm talking that Yeon the Spirit of True Father is really guiding directly, maybe not on the same way, but is really guiding your husband.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
we all believe
And with
that.
that, Jesus is also as a dispensational evolvement, if I may say, right?
Yeah, we believe that, right?
Uh,
That's why you
absolutely.
guys are all here. What is the point of being here?
Yeah, no, but it was not clear that Jesus, that through Father is talking through him. For me, it was only through Father before. But now, because of the Bible and because of everything, they really want.
I really thought it was an amazing revelation, at least for me, that when our second king said the Bible was written by Father, and that was really something that I never really thought about. Yeah. So it was just amazing revelation. So if you want to, when you go back and then I that the lady tonight who spoke at Bluestone Farm, she said, we gotta read the Bible, so where should I begin? And you guys might, wondering. I would suggest you to read the book of John first. And then if you have a hard time reading the Bible, then you can just listen to it. Then you can just start from there. Some people suggest me to read the Proverbs. I personally like the book of John first, and then see a father as the Jesus, see Jesus through the lens of Father's life course, and then it really helped me to understand Father. Like there's a big crowd, and then Jesus was totally ignored, so Jesus had to just walk out quietly. Those scenes really, really touched me because Jesus went through the exact same course that the Father did. And then now I understand the persecution and all these that Father had to do. It's just such a, for me at least, I don't know how, the Holy Spirit will guide you. But for me, the book of John was the beginning of opening my heart to really want to have this conviction. I'm going to know about Bible like this. So, yes.
Father lived such an extreme life, and it seems like the second king is following his footsteps in the sense that Father really pushed Mother, in terms of ocean providence and different things, and now it seems that the second king is really kind of pushing you in this
You see the blues?
training. So I'm just wondering, what's your experience trying to keep pace and understand? You see the parallel there when you look at your life?
It's been so funny, as I prepared tonight's sharing, I was driving up to the Bluestone Farm, and that short distance, I was thinking about, yeah, that's right, Father, asked me to become a general and all that. Oh my gosh, I'm doing the general training! And I was like, it was just, I don't know how that came in my head, but, to become a general, you gotta go through this military training. And that's it was funny that you asked me. But, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm jumping, maybe like stretching your question, but I think a lot of brothers and sisters concerned that I might become like a resentful, like a mother, right? Mother, or like now she might be like a following and all bruised up and then doing like this and like whatever. But what if she gets like a resentful and then repeat the sin of her mother, and they're actually concerned about it. So I actually get this question a lot. So I it's quite cute. One of high schooler when I went to I think a winter camp, I went there, and then one of the high schooler actually asked me. It was a high schooler boy. Yeah, he asked me this question. I thought it was quite honest that he was willing to ask me about it. I was actually I didn't feel any bad about it actually. Yeah, and then I answered this way. I answered, first of all, our second thing will remind me not to become like that. And then second of all, our brothers and sisters will remind me. There is plenty of them that you guys will remind me. And then I think in order you guys to for you guys to remind me if I go off track, so to speak, then I always have to be among you, right? And that's why I love HSU class. Because I'm there, I talking with our brothers and sisters, and then they can come up to me and then they can tell me straight. And it's very small, and then they can So it's to me that's another check it out. Our brothers and sisters will And then the third one is I actually don't think it's only cross that I have to carry. Because every single ladies here or every single gentleman here, we all have that cross. Right? It's not only me who might betray father, so to speak, right? Who might once I was faithfully serving Judah Iscariot, and then when the temptation came, he became the betrayer of Judah Iscariot. I'm capable. I'm sorry to say, but you guys are all capable to do that too. So it's not only my cross, but it's like that every single person who's here, they actually carry the same cross. I might complain, my cross is the heaviest, right? But who says my cross is the heaviest? Who says it? And I actually, I can humbly say that, some of our brothers and sisters' crosses are heavier than mine. We all have that potential, so it's not only me. It's interesting. I have to say that going back to the original question. Am I speaking the correct English? Sometimes I'm like my English is like jumbled up, and I don't know whether I'm speaking correct English or not. But if I say more like a close answer to your question, I'm not a very like a physical person. I'm not. I'm like my major is studio art. Okay, I love the paint, and that's what I do, right? And then the physical stuff was very tough for me. Very tough, and it's still tough.
You tough it up.
It's still tough, but one thing I know, I think this is why, now I lived with my second king for 20 years. It's like 20 years this year. So I know him enough that he will not make me do things that is not good. So if he makes me do this, I know he has a purpose. I'm not 100% why he makes me do this. Okay, but I know. You know what? The light is so bright. That's why I'm looking at this side. It's not that I don't like you guys. Just making sure, okay?
We don't see that,
cry, okay? That's why I'm keep on looking at this side. Yeah. So I know my husband enough. He will not make me do things that will be harmful, or he make me do things that to take advantage of. Something like, look, she's doing it and you guys can do it. It's not like, how to say, look how, a good husband I am to make her listen this well. Or no, it's not like that kind of moment. I know him enough that he will not have that moment. I'm sure, he's proud of me when I smash some like first jiu-jitsu comer, and I'm sure he will be very proud of me. But he actually, I know him enough. I cannot explain any other way, because I've known him for 20 years very closely, so I have that much trust in him, even though it's not always pleasant. Sometimes I complain. So that's another thing. Who said I'm always like a good and 100%? Who said that? Okay, I'm bitching and complaining many times. Okay, I admit it. A little bit about Hyunjin's attendance of father, something that moved you or something you observed, yeah, that was I feel like I don't want to like drag it on and on, but so that's why I didn't really talk about our being a father. You know what? When I see and then second things, I'll say something because I'm gonna say father. Father and king is just a little bit like awkward, so I would say father and Hyunjin. You know, I there might be a profound way, I don't know, but this is how I see. When I see Hyunjin, he made, I think this is what Hyunjin gave me. This is what I about to say. The experience of father and son relationship. The father and son relationship. Hyunjin, by the English forward. Hyunjin make father experience what it's like father real relationship between
father and son.
There's no string attached. It's not like, oh, if I serve, if I be good to you, then he will give me position. Or if I be good to you, he's gonna give me house. Or anything like that. He's gonna give me money or anything like that. But it's just a pure joy being together.
Yeah.
That is the experience that you get, and that's the experience you get.
Yeah.
It's like he does some calligraphy. And his calligraphy was horrible in the beginning. I'm like, are you serious to hang that in the house? It was that bad, okay? But now I have no complaint. But in the beginning it was really bad. And he would go to father and, father, how can you write this character? And father, write it on the newspaper. And then he practice, and then next time he write it and beautifully, and then you show father. Oh, father, I improved so much, right? And the father says, oh, you improved so much. I'm so happy. And that kind of very little thing. Something like they watch, the MMA together. This mixed martial arts, this ground pummel, ground and pound, right? That scene together, and they're so happy. And then he would call like the security guard, and then oh, father, this is the technique they did like this, and then this is like, and the father's like, oh, that is so interesting. Do it again. Something like that. It's like a very simple, but very like a personal. But there's no string attached to it. When we served father, we basically our second king, he gave up everything. He was serving as a mega church pastor, right? Yeah. He left that all behind. Okay, I'm not gonna care about church. And then he was having a lot of interview. He was getting a lot of attention from media and all that. And he left that all behind. And then he might feel like insecure. Oh, what if when I'm not here? If my position is not solidified, what I'm gonna do, right? He could have think like that. And he I have to say, our second king did not even care about children. And then we have to leave them behind. It's almost like 8 months out of 12 months a year, we were with father. Like only 4 months we were the kids. And then many times we were in Korea, and we were in Kondo, or we were like a Yosu. And they are in Seoul. So it's like 5 hours or 7 hours, away. So he left everything behind, and then we didn't know when father will ascend, right? We didn't choose the day. So if it becomes 20 years of service, that was his attitude. It was like 5 years I was serving. It was 20 years I was still serving, and I don't have any attachment to what I was doing. So how great leader I am, or how whatever, he gave all that up. He gave that up. He did not think about it, and then he focused on serving father. And I think that was the thing that father, and he gave father the experience, what it's like, what it can be like a father and son. Because father always has to be leader in his sons. and then is he gonna be the success? Oh, is this person gonna be success? And there's always like a policy around that certain good child, and then they make a group, and then they have an agenda, or oh father, you did so and so and so, but this person is bad, and please remove this person from this position. And all these strings were attached when they meet together, right? But when our second and third father, there was no such a string was attached. And I think a father really he would bring the dough in and then give the snack and then make the gyeongbang and all this simple thing. And but he would he would train the Hyungjin would train Doin to make father happy. He would make buy all these birds or all this lizard and to show father. And father, look at this lizard. The Bluestone skin. He can eat the egg. Isn't that amazing? And they were watching. And those kind of things. Those kind of very little things, but father really feel, wow, father is really wonderful. So I think that's of course we would have served him. Our second thing would have served him not only as a father but also as his son. I think that was that's another thing. Because there's many things that if you only purely see things from a son's perspective, then you can feel very bad, can be very angry or whatever, right? But also I have to say he's really amazing man. Yeah, I'm the biggest fan of my husband. But he's really amazing because he's extremely masculine and at the same time he's extremely feminine. It's like he knows style better than me. Like this hot pink and then this gray pants goes perfectly well. Like this. Right? And then he can do the ground pound like MMA. So it's how can you juggle these two words so perfectly? And then he can juggle. Why has it become a show and tell about my husband? But he can really understand the Western word and the Asian word, and he can really understand these two words. And he can go in and out. So father is like that. When I think about father was like that. I was sharing this with one of my sister, Korean sister that I met today. And father would practice wrestling to win this guy for 6 months, right? And he lost and he practiced 6 months to beat this guy in wrestling, right? And he has a very masculine, and he loves MMA and he watch over and over. He has the very masculine. He loves this martial art and make the martial art that way, At the same time, father in his autobiography, he would make a hat for his sister. He would make a hat for his sister. Oh, so he has got such a gentle heart like that. So it's like a father like son. That's how I see it. Many things Nigeria time. I was really amazed by it. I really, really amazed. This is why I really not only love him, but I really respect him. Because two times I had experience. One time was in I think our second king shared this in the service, but for anybody who did not hear about this, father was it was a Nigeria hotel, and father was there was a father's bedroom, and then there was a little a suite. There was a little living room that is attached to father where father can rest. So it was usually the father is very punctual. 5 o'clock. Usually before the helicopter incident, father would get up 1 hour early and then with this white pants, right? White pants that is it's nowhere white pants he always wears. And then he runs for 40 minutes and then he does stretch and then he wakes up at about 4 o'clock and he does his routine. My father is very punctual. He never lays on the bed. He's on top of time. But that time, father was late. Father was it was 5 o'clock. Everybody waited. I was waiting outside. And there was 6 o'clock, father's not coming out. It was like, oh, everybody was like wondering what's going on. And later on, we found out that time the father opened vision somehow. It was right before he became. He saw some kind of vision. We don't know what he saw, but father was like telling the attendant staff, staff, and then your mother was there, and then the Hansman Yanin, and then at the moment when Hansman Yanin, the staff and her mother was like shaking, and they didn't know. They didn't know what to do. Father was screaming at them, and then move this, and then move this red ball, and then move this, and then he was like somehow on the table he was like doing this as if he's like moving the universe, and then the people attendants and how many people know what to do. Like, what's going on? Why is he so all of a sudden angry? And what's going on? They couldn't like figure it out with their normal understanding. And then the second king stepped in, and then he said he did oh father, do you want this to move? And then no, not that, move that one. And then there was like little like a pocket of urine that father cannot like move mobile. Was not so mobile at that time, so he has like a little pocket of where it's like a portable bathroom, so to speak. Okay, nice way to put it. And then that one was there, but father said, knock that out. And then I said, why is he gonna knock it out? Actually, when he did knock it out, and then of course he picked it up. But father was like ordering him to do certain things, and then our second king followed. You want to do this? Yeah, he was like with it.
Yeah. He was an object.
He was total object. He was willing to, he can't see what father sees, but he was willing to be 100% there for father.
Yeah.
He was not having like this second thought, usually like what's going on, just like everybody else. And then I it's kind of sad that that time Han mother called all the leaders in, and then one by one, and then that was the time that mother was telling everybody that father is sick. And she called one leader at a time, and father is not in the right mind to see what happened this morning, and she was explaining. The reason we know about this is actually one of the leaders came to our room and then told us, this is what mother said. She is saying father is sick. So what should we do? I remember. I remember, and then it was 8 o'clock, and then he came in, and then this is what our chief said. He said, you know what? We didn't believe this Indian tribe to like this fortune telling, shaking the rice and shaking the leaf, shaking the leaf, and whoa, like this. There must be something, and like this, and then. Why can't you even believe that the witness is right? That's what I said. I was like, that's something this is something that I would never consider. I mean, it was, that kind of like a non-faithful father give a total, obedience to father. And then another incident was Hawaii. It's actually 3. In Hawaii, I'll say that Las Vegas one first. In Las Vegas, people were so concerned. Their father is going to the casino, and then I don't know what to do, and then I think we should don't let him go, and then it's like confidential and all this. And then and then the whole year school actually, had this secret meeting with our second king. We have something to tell you. We went to the upper room, and then, they said, you should do this, and then, we should stop him, and then we should stop Las Vegas Providence and all that, right? And then that time, our second king said, you know what? Jesus went around with a prostitute and tax collector, and that's what our fathers do. And why can't you understand this? And that's what he said to me. Wow. And then the third one that I remember is I'm just speaking very like a short time when he was in Hawaii. And this is all happened while we are attending Father, right? And then when he was in Hawaii, Father was Father was sitting in the giving talk, and then grandmother was in the queen garden. There was a queen garden, and she was in queen garden. The father is king garden, and then doing the bundoke building. And the father, all of a sudden, he's like started pulling his pants down, and then he put his elderly man, the elderly people, they wear diaper, right? And the father took off his diaper.
Oh my God.
And the people freaked out. Imagine in the middle of Hundoke crowd. And then everybody was like, all the what is the security, they circled around him and they put the pants up and then, and then that moment, King went out and without any embarrassment, and he put the mic up, he got the mic and then, don't worry, this is what happened, and this was Adam and Eve did, and then you don't have to feel embarrassed. This is Hawaii, and the father is showing that he has that much closeness to you guys. So don't worry about it. This is like you guys don't have to worry about it. And then and then we went on. And it was like my mother was very embarrassed about it. And then but he kept he just without any judgment, without any embarrassment.
That's love.
This is like a Garden of Eden. That's how he said it.
Wow.
And then that's I almost thought that is like a test that Noah had to be serious. And it's almost of course we cannot understand with human eyes and human understanding. But Bible is full of that kind of story.
Yeah.
And how can we explain how can we explain Noah, the son's getting that much curse from the covering the productive organ of his father, right? All of these things we cannot explain. But God demands faith in that situation. And if we really believe Father is the Messiah, that is something that we can see, we should see with the lens of Christ. So that was he was doing. And that's that two blend that our second king make Father experience the real fatherhood without any string attached.
Yeah.
Because that was always Father's experience with all his children. And then but at the same time he will honor Father as a Messiah. This two extreme, seemingly like extreme, but he really blended that, and then he would serve the Father, our Christ, and gave his witness. So I think that's why, that's like my testimony about the baby.
I personally want to recognize the beauty of your vulnerability in this testimony.
Vulnerability?
Yes, you've been very vulnerable. I think there is so much beauty and courage and spirit in that. And I honor that. Thank you.
You know what? That's also, that courage came from the Bible too. I'm not joking. There's a beautiful quote. This is one of my favorite quotes. It's in 2 Corinthians. The Paul is talking about. I'm sorry, am I sound
No,
preachy?
you're
good.
I'm sorry. If I'm too preachy, I'm sorry. This is the time that Paul is asking God, God, this thorn in my flesh is hurting so much. Remove it from you. And then Paul asked God 3 times. He said 3 times, but God said, I left that thorn in your flesh on purpose. And then he says this, This is one of my, it's like my Bible quote that I really love. Therefore, in order to keep me from becoming conceited, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger of Satan, to torment me. That's what Paul, right? In the 2 Corinthians 12. But he said to me, God said to him, to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness. He said he will gladly boast about his weakness because that's like the reminder how weak I am and how much I need Christ. And he continues. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. Listen. That's why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness. He said he delights in weakness. And then the insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties, he says. He can delight in his weakness. In weakness. For when I'm weak, then I'm strong. It's like such a beautiful word. You know, I was such a self-conscious person. Why is this person like a frowning? Is this person not liking what I said, or like all these like little things that paranoia? I was such a person, and I was like, I have to have always perfect massage, and like that's why I was so miserable when I started the church pastor. I was so miserable because I always have the perfect Yeon, right? And then but as I have a little interaction with the Word of God, my weakness is. Of course I'm weak. Of course I'm not perfect. Why do you struggle? Of course you're not, but that's why you need a Christ. You might not use as a second gen. I'm so grateful. I might not have original sin, but you have so many other sins. You have hereditary sin. You have I know in Korean, but I don't know in English. Collective sin, and what else? Personal sin. I have all those sins. See, so of course I'm not perfect. No, of course I'm weak. But when I actually accept Christ, that His power can work through me through my weakness, then I realize I need a Christ, and that's like such a beautiful realization. When I'm weak, I'm more strong when I accept Christ. Wow, because the Holy Spirit is working. Okay, oh my God, that's why I can without worry and without thinking, I said this, and what would they think? I said I was really not faithful, what they gonna think, and all this, right? I don't have to worry about those. And I can sleep in peace. I can sleep in peace.
So what?
Okay. We went this way, so should we went just this way? After this.
Do you think that the mother was jealous of Yeon because he was so agreeing with his mother? Do you feel it happened?
Who knows, right? Who knows? I'm not in her mother's head, right? Who knows? But when I see mother, when we hear what she tell to people, when we have this big crash, and one person said, when he met his mother, and she said, I was always smart. My teacher said, told me I was always smart. That's what she said about her. I said, why did she say this? Because she had always this complex that she only graduated high school. She couldn't really, get the proper education. She always had to depend on her mind, and then all the all the other ladies around were like going to university, right? And then there's like a lot of things in this age, just go to school with you, probably not that kind of thing. She had this, and then she. One of the that mother, I would not say that she told me that mother always felt competition. She always felt competitive desire. So why? Not with me, with her daughter. I'm talking about the daughter. Yeah, I'm thinking of her. So the daughter told me that mother, the daughter always had two child. She always felt that mother would have some kind of competition. So I go, mother, daughter. So they're like still competing to get more attention from mom. And I couldn't really understand what this is. And even like when I remember what she said about when she said I had a long talk. I can tell that the second king and her mother relationship was getting further and further. And then like one night, I still remember it was like about Christmas time, like Christmas Day or 26th, December 26th or December 20th, or one of those days. I got the relationship got further and further. I was like, I feel like I have no mother, and then it's touch out. It was like about 3 months after the relationship was getting worse and worse. I can visually see it. So I did what I did. So I asked my husband, I'm gonna go to Tokyo and I'm gonna stay. And I wanna ask her, one I'm gonna do the woman and woman talk, okay? Yeah. Well, however it feels, I really, I feel like I'm. So I was thinking, gave me prayer, and then I was like trembling, but I go and talk. So I actually talked to her one-on-one for 40 minutes. Mostly she talked, but I sometimes I can do a question to her, or this is our business desire is not to whatever. We're still felt that we can my mother. It was before she claimed mother God and all these things. It was before the Force Foundation, so we still got that how to say we were still like negotiating, so to speak. We're finding out where she's standing and like this. And then she said in that conversation, she said something like, I told her, mother, Coaching and Hyunjin are so capable. They can do far better job than Kumo. And she was like, so sure. You don't know what my mother, her mother,
Yeon
is home. Who's channeling through emotion. You don't know what they can do. You guys cannot do what they can do. So it was like she was period. And it was like you don't know what they can do. You cannot. You guys are young, immature, don't know what you guys talking about, and this is she can do far better job than you. So it's like when I hear that, that's like I can hear that some competitive thing that her legacy, her mother can do far better job than her sons. I can see things like
So Demonim was working with the mother.
That's what's all this Hummo Chongpyeong thing is all about, right? Yeah. She sees Hummo as her mother in a very strange relationship. And if you know that Hummo's physical son, who's grown up and he's adult, he is adopted to spiritual. I think it's spiritually adopted. After a certain age, you can adopt legally the person. So this person is adopted to the Mrs. Hong, who is a mother's mother, Han mother's mother. You guys follow?
Yeon Kim's son?
Hyunam Kim's physical son is claimed, and they got the permission from father and mother that to be adopted to Mrs. Ho, who is a mother's mother. So basically, Hum was physical son, and Han mother is like a brother and sister. Yeah.
Right.
So they actually built that relationship. And then that very son was the basic CEO. He was a real CEO behind the scene who ruled the whole kingdom. There was a lot of corruption. That was
But it's true that Demonin's husband took a lot of money and ran away with the nose.
I don't know. This is my honest answer. I don't know. There's many rumors about it, and then but one thing that we know is their relationship. So I don't know. That's my honest answer. I will not claim
What a man.
information that I.
It's a very simple question. We always talk about the Bible and focus on the Bible's words. Recently I started to study a lot about Father's words, so because especially about the seed and all these things, when Father talks about bone marrow, and I was really curious about all this, of the true love God and the Father says, this relationship husband and wife. And I went through all Father's speeches, like all the ways, whatever I could find. I just printed them out, or I went to PDF. So, but because I always see the Bible, I mean, I can't go only that far in the Bible for this topic, but I took two Father speeches, I mean, over and over, so I'm a little bit, I hear you just talking about the Bible now, I feel Father is guiding me through His Word, because for that special question. But is there anything?
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's what I said. You know, if the Word of Father as a Christ really speak to you, and that is the that faith that you really want to pour your heart in. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So what I'm saying is, for me, I had no foundation of understanding Father, in the depth. Why? What is mean to preparation of 6,000 years to have a Christ? What is that? Yeah, I do not know what that means. I say it. I might pretend I know, but for me, without really understanding the Bible, I do not know what that means. So that's all I'm sharing. That's wonderful.
We can be your mother.
Who's against about that?
It's always so overemphasized, and I feel like do I miss something?
No, not at all. We are emphasizing that we can actually make a lot of mistakes to see Father as a feminist lens. We can really see Father as this interreligious lens. All the religions are fine. Islam is fine, and all this. So when we emphasize Bible, you really have to see Father, understand Father from the foundation of the Christian.
Yeah.
Then you can fully understand Father. That's all we. That's what I say. That's what I believe our second. Then you can have actually deeper relationship with Father first. So that's where we are coming from. And then if this is another thing that I just taught myself. Mother, the Han mother, she said that she never read the Bible, and she never got divine principle lecture. This is what she said, but she knew everything. That's what she said. And at one point, I thought I know Bible. At one point, I thought I know Bible. But as I actually dove into it and then have a give and receive relationship, in a very small way, I realized I know nothing about the Bible. Okay, I really, that's like my confession. That title of
your vulnerability.
Yeah. So it's like, wow, how arrogant I was to say that I know about the Bible. Just know the couple name of it. I never knew that the Bible, the Genesis ends with Joseph. I did not know. It's like a whole divine principle is all about this restoration process, and then the whole Genesis elaborated. So I never really thought about Genesis ends with Joseph. I never knew. See how much I did not know about Bible, but I'm like so arrogantly could say that I know everything about Bible. So it's like the reason I say this is if her mother would have a give and take with the Word of God, then if she had that foundation, solid foundation,
Yeah,
like
to never
Mrs.
go
Tom,
the way she went.
yeah, Mrs. Tom, she could see everything through the lens of this is a posture of the believer. This is how the way, this is what they led, it's what they died for. And all these things will, the Holy Spirit will guide her. But she never faced God. She never really felt necessity of really grounding her faith in it. She was only 17, and she was busy from.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I think you guys have to go. Our brother and sister, let us join. Heavenly Father, thank you so much, Father. The reason we are standing here is for all the listeners. Please, Father. Father, as we go forward, Father, let us. It is not. We really hope and pray that it is not about us, Father, but it is become really to glorify you. Father, we truly believe that once we were faithful, but next day we can have a huge potential to become like Judah, Father. So, Father, guide us our way with your understanding and wisdom, Father. Ask for unusual guidance and wisdom, Father, so that we will not falter, that we can really walk the way that you plan us to walk, as we go forward. The Christ and the second king, the successor that you chose for us to live, Father. We humbly follow him as in the position of disciple, Father. Father, let us have a wisdom. Let us have your wisdom, Father. Let us have your wisdom, not our understanding, Father. And we truly believe that if we lean on you, if we trust you, if we really open our heart and open our spirit eyes and to see where you're leading us to, Father. If we become really try very hard to open our heart, then Father, we know that you will give us guidance to make our way straight, Father. Thank you so much for our brothers and sisters. Father, your life was not easy. Look at all these brothers and sisters who live, Father. They are willing to walk in the fire for you, Father. You are the Messiah. You are the King of Kings. You are the wonderful Counselor. You are the Lamb, Father, who gave us everything, Father, for the truth and life. And you gave us true image, Father. We are just eternally grateful, Father. We love you. We glorify you. Let our life become to show to your glory, Father. Thank you so much once again, and we pray all these things in the such a blessed name, blessed by your name, and then all our brothers and sisters, blessed by your name, we pray in the amazing Christ's name. Amen. Amen.